Chopin wrote this when he was 20, and he wrote it to Madame Pleyel. And I don't know if you know this, but his favorite piano was the Pleyel piano. In fact, there's a wonderful place, I think it's in Farmington, Massachusetts, where they have all these old pianos, and I played one of them, and they are really beautiful. They don't project as far as the Steinways. They don't project as far, in part because the action is easy. The action is very easy to play. So things that might have been easier then could be more difficult now, one might think. But because they're easy to play and the action doesn't have as much, punch to it, it didn't project as far. So, there was a time before Chopin where, frankly, music wasn't even known to the commoners. It was just for nobility. And around the time of Chopin, that started to change. But he still was a salon player. So he wasn't playing big concerts like Liszt. He was playing in more modest, smaller venues with nobility. And the Nocturne is actually a wonderful invention that can't be totally credited to Chopin. He did some great things with it, but it's really John Field, an Irish composer, that came up with this Nocturne. The idea is that it's something that happens, it's evocative of nighttime and more restful. And I came across a wonderful passage from Franz Liszt, who would play Chopin pieces. And let me read this to you because I thought this was beautiful. Okay, here's what Liszt said. He was comparing Field's and Chopin's nocturnes. He says Chopin, in his poetic nocturnes, sang not only the harmonies, which are the source of our most ineffable delights, but likewise the restless, agitating bewilderment to which they oft give rise. His flight is loftier, though his wing be more wounded, and his very suaveness grows heartrending. So thinly does it veil his despairful anguish. Their closer kinship of sorrow than those of Field renders them the more strongly marked. Their poetry is more somber and fascinating. They ravish us more, but are less reposeful, and thus permit us to return with pleasure to those pearly shells that open far from the tempests and the immensities of ocean, beside some murmuring spring shaded by the palms of a happy oasis, which makes us forget even the existence of the desert. So that's quite beautifully done. Oh my God. And I've got to break it down first of all, it is written in a minor key. It's written, the signature is D flat, but the appropriate minor key is B flat minor. And as some of you may remember, in a minor, you're kind of allowed to have more notes. So let me show you on the keyboard here. Now that I got this great little feature, where'd it go? There we go. So if this is the key of, if this is the scale of D flat, the B flat minor is starting at B flat, but playing the same scale. Except there's actually these notes in one of the B minor scales, it's played like this.
We can't
So
hear
all
it.
these notes, this cluster of notes, are kind of allowed, if you will. And so you get this very beautiful little bits of movement that make it so somber, and just beautiful. So I'm going to highlight a couple of things before I play it. One of the things he's famous for in pieces, and including this one, is having a bunch of notes in one hand versus less notes in the other hand in meters that are difficult to play, to count. So for example, in the left hand at one point, he's got 6 beats, and the right hand he's got 11. And then the very next measure, he's got 12 beats, and the right hand's got 22. And so it actually goes a bit like this. Let's see. So if you look at the point where you play it and all come down at the same point, it takes a little bit of I guess, musicality and magic and a lot of practice. So that's one thing that he does. He does it a few times in the piece. And then he has this beautiful second portion of the piece, which starts out like this. He does a lot of fun things with that. He repeats it about 4 times and has different kind of counterpoint melodies to each of those. And then he gets into this other thing. This goes on for a while, actually. Then he gets into this new, happier period where he's playing more in major scales. So you get a major chord. So you have this this wonderful D flat. So that's pretty. And then he's got a very interesting thing he does at one point where he changes the beat on you. So most of the time he's going like this. And then he goes like this. Sorry. So now the beat is on that second note. So he changes that up at some point, which is interesting. And one thing
Am I the only one that can't hear the piano?
oh no. Oh my God.
Can anyone else hear the piano?
Thank you for saying that. Ah, I hate Zoom.
Not that well. I can hear Andrew a lot better than the piano.
All
Yes,
right.
I can hear Andrew, but thank you.
Yeah, okay. I bet now you can hear it, right?
Much better.
That's good. That's good.
All right. Thank you. You know what? I'm going to start over. I apologize. I hate Zoom. I think I'm gonna move on to something else at some point because I have to keep remembering to do that. I need a checklist. Okay, let me start over. So you have this 11 against 6, 22 against 22 against 12. Just crazy stuff like that. Then this beautiful next section. So a whole different melodic playground there, and he goes on for quite a ways with that. Then he gets into this third thing, which is more joyful. So it's more major kind of key sounds. And then he gets into an interesting thing where he changes the beat. It's almost like a little bit of reggae. So now the beat is here instead of at the bottom. Then he does something that I found a little difficult to play at first, and I thought this could be a new musical idea for me. Sometimes I'll take a little snippet of a song and wrap a whole other thing around it. So he's got this thing where he goes like this. Sorry. Ah. I can't believe I can't play it right now. So I'm going to work on that, and that's actually going to be the basis for a new song because I just love that little melodic interlude there. And then there's a concept that was popular and is still used today, where you take a minor sad sound and you end on a happy note, and they call it a Picardy third. And it's not clear whether that's because Picardy is kind of a derivative of sharp, because you're sharpening the third, or if there was a place in France called Picard, or Picardy, that was supposedly where this started. But the idea is you'll hear at the end, he's going to end on, instead of a B minor, B flat minor, he ends on a major. And he does it in a really profound way. He has this wonderful... I'm sorry. And then he has a little bit, even though it's kind of a happy sound, he then has this very, well, I guess you describe it as a kind of a sad little ending where he goes, kind of, you know, almost tearful. So anyway, those are the highlights of it. I'm now going to play it for you. And I'm going to turn down my microphone because that might interfere a little bit with the playing. that that came through okay.
Wow, that was really nice.
All right, are you people still there?
Still here. Can you hear me? Can you?
Thank you. Hey, so couple of things. One is I have a special treat for you tonight. Trish, who's a good friend of mine, um, did this wonderful thing, and she sent them to me, and I want to share with you how creative she is. And Trish, maybe you could talk through some of this, but I'm going to just share some of these. She basically created these images out of just orange peels and other vegetable garbage, basically, and created these beautiful renderings that I think are very clever. And there's one. I don't think I was able to upload them all. I'm sorry, but here's another one. I love the way you set up these blue dots. They really counter kind of a nice countermeasure to these hearts. So it's a Valentine's Day theme, as you can see. Here's another one. Oh, I'm sorry, it doesn't show the whole thing. Actually, can I do this? Can I bring it down a little bit? I'm having a hard time managing this. This is another one. I love this one. It looks to me like a little boy holding an anteater, some other things. Just beautiful, wonderful creations. There's a detailed one too with the orange peel. And they naturally just kind of curl up, and she had some wonderful ways of playing with that. And this is one of my favorites, little hearts. It'd be great if these could be turned into actual jewelry or something. Another heart there. This is my favorite. It looks like a lion or the sun sticking its tongue out. I just absolutely love that. Oh my God, the amount of precision and cutting and all that had to be, that's amazing. And then this is actually from, I believe, is it a pomegranate? I think a pomegranate skin.
Yes.
Yeah, and it says love what is. So just wonderful. Did you want to make any comments about the backstory on this, Trish?
No, I just was playing and just getting mesmerized by what happened as I would cut things and then they would curl up naturally on their own, and just found it really amusing and intriguing.
Yeah, very nice, very nice. And then Steve is not here tonight, Steve Kevel, but he did give us where is it now? He did give us a little puzzle. So I don't know if I apologize. I should have given it to you earlier in the week. I don't know if you had time to look at it, but actually, it turns out it's actually very easy. I think, at least it was for me, because I didn't actually even go through all the different parts. I just, knew who Edvard Munch was. I'm not sure I'm saying his name correctly, but did anyone play with it?
No.
Did anyone try to
Looked
do
at
it?
it.
So here is here's the clue. Trouble and later rest equals Edvard Munch. Now it turns out, I don't know if you can see this or not. I'm not sure how to set this up. I should set it up to just share the screen so you can see everything I see. Let's just do that. You'll see everything I see. Okay, so I do have it set up here. Let's see. Where are you? Here we go. So we could put the clues in here. Does anyone want to take a shot at it? Well, I'll say to the trouble. It turns out the answer is just painter. So if you type in painter, he's a painter. So it turns out it's pain, and then inter for laid to rest. So trouble, pain, inter. So it was very clever. But I usually have a lot of fun playing, not knowing what it is, and playing with all these different words. I didn't do that tonight. So, my wife makes these amazing cookies. Do you want to tell us all about them, hon?
Buckwheat buckwheat, pumpkin,
All good stuff.
there's some cranberries in there.
Oh, here. I'll have to have it after. But thank you.
Cocoa nibs.
Yeah.
You want to show them?
Oh, well,
They look terrible.
They don't look terrible. They look like, I don't know. Maybe they do look terrible. Let me see. I don't know. Hang on a second.
They're not store quality.
No, they're not. But actually, I think you could sell them in a store. Hang on a second. Let me. I have to pin myself here so they can see it. Okay. So, you know what? I'm showing the keyboard right now. They can't see anything. Oh, maybe I can do it over here. Here we go. I thought they don't look too bad. They almost look like little Christmas cookies or something.
They
you know?
look chocolatey, but
Yeah,
they're
very
buckwheat.
Chocolate
so.
and buckwheat. Yeah, they're very nice. Thank you, hon. That's very
Okay.
sweet of you. Okay, so the final thing is I didn't have a lot of words this week. I was surprised. As I said, I've had a crazy week. I guess I just didn't do a lot of games and reading. But I do have a little sheet for you. Some of them are quite fascinating. I found, first of all, I love definitions that, can you still see am I sharing the screen? No. Sorry. Let me just share the screen and then you'll see everything I see. So, can you see the words now? Do you guys see words? Hopefully you see words.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so I love I love words that are defined by other words, like this one, Mona, a West African guinan. I'm hoping, I don't know what that is. Maybe it's a muzzle. I don't know if that's a monkey or whatever. Anyway, this is an interesting one. Ugia almost sounds like a horn on an old-fashioned car. A basic monetary unit in Mauritania. Korat is a breed of cat. It said it's heavy for its size. I thought that was rather weight shaming. I don't know why they have to say that, what that means, but anyway. And then the other one I found interesting was azo, which is short for azote, which is in 1879 the combination form for nitrogen. Technically in Latin means without living. So you can't live on just nitrogen. You know, things would die in a nitrogen atmosphere. And then the other one I found very interesting, in the 19th century, a yob was a rude, noisy youth, and it's called backslang for boy. Boy backwards is yob. So I've never seen this before, where you turn a word backwards and it becomes like a nasty version of that thing. Is there any other example of that? I don't know. I've never heard of that before. But I thought that was very interesting. You know, I'm fascinated with words. In fact, today I was thinking of the word mistake, which I always think of as just a word, mistake. But I was thinking it's you've taken something the wrong way. It's a mistake on something. So I thought, that's probably where that word comes from. I never even thought of it that way before. Anyway, I'm rambling. Sorry, guys. So this is the point where I do two things. One is I want to tell you about next week, because I have a wonderful treat. Right after this next week, I have a composer. His name is Tom Hoynatsky, but his name is spelled Hojnacki, but it's pronounced Hoynatsky. I have to keep thinking about that still. Very talented ex-professor at Berkeley, the New England Conservatory. Really beautiful music, classical, modern, but beautiful, really easy listening, wonderful music. And so he'll be on next week. And we actually pre-recorded it and went on for an hour and a half, so I had to chop up a lot of it, but I didn't cut out any of the music. I just cut out a lot of my inane input, and I had to cut out a lot of his. He's a wonderful talker. Most of my shows are 40 minutes of music and 20 minutes of talking. We had 35 minutes of music and 50 minutes of him talking. So I'm going to also have a director's cut that I will post, because he goes on and on about all the wonderful people he's worked with and who helped him on each album, each piece, and the symphonies that he worked with, and it's all wonderful information, so I didn't want to really cut that all off. So, and of course, the second thing I do is ask, how's everyone's week? Does anyone want to share anything with us before we wrap up? Any big events coming up, or that you've been through, or that you plan on doing? And oh, you know what? Before I do that, I will say this. The very piece I just played, I'm going to be in a master class with Roberto Poli in a couple of weeks, in the beginning of March. And Roberto Poli is a wonderful local, talented professor who teaches at the Newton School of Music, and gives wonderful renderings on Chopin. He's written some books on Chopin. He's done a lot of research on him. And he's going to be a featured player, a fundraiser, in, I believe, the April timeframe. So the Boston Amateur Piano Group is going to have a big fundraiser in Brookline at this house that's got two beautiful Steinway pianos. He's going to play. And if you can all be there, please do. I think it's something like $50 or $60 a head, but it's all for raising money for the competition coming up. So it's well worth it. They'll have great food before and after. A lot of fun. That's all I have. So I just want to ask the rest of you, anything coming up that you want to share with us? Anything going
What day
on?
in April is that, do you know?
Huh?
What day in April?
I don't know. Let me see if I can find that quickly. Well, talk amongst yourselves. Let's see. That would be, what are they calling it? They don't call it a fundraiser, they call it something else. I'll just type in Poley concert. Maybe that'll come up on my, I love these search tools these days. Sometimes you can search on something and it pulls it up from, I literally have probably 10,000 emails. I never erase my emails. But it's not coming up. Let's see, what else could it be? BPAA. BPAA. They may call it a festival or something like that. April 21st.
Oh.
April 21st. It's going to be in Brookline. Brookline. I don't have the address in front of me yet, but it's $60. It's a suggested donation, so you probably can get away with less. But he's quite the performer. He's got a beautiful touch. I don't know if you can see that. He's originally from Italy, Roberto Poli. Yulica, how are you? Did you guys join late? I'm sorry. I hope you didn't
And
miss
we
it.
apologize for that. That was strictly an oversight on our part. And we'll
Did you
try
miss
to
my
avoid
playing?
that again.
Did
What?
you miss the playing?
No, we just didn't. We just didn't wake up in time to. I mean, figuratively
Oh,
speaking.
I will send you the recording so you can listen to the whole thing.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, please. Yeah, that would be
Yeah.
good. Yeah, we'd appreciate that.
Thank you, Peter. Thanks for reminding me that I should send out a note. I can't believe I forgot. I apologize.
You're
Thank you,
welcome. It's
Trish,
good
for
to
your
see you. I
wonderful
gotta
help.
run.
Yeah.
Everybody, bye.
All right. Thank you, Tony, for joining.
Yeah,
Till next
thanks.
time,
We
everyone.
really
Have a
would
great week.
appreciate getting that recording,
Yes.
Andrew.
Will do. Have a great
Are
week,
you coming
everyone.
next week? Are you planning to be here next week?
I will. And next week I have right after this, a Composer's Corner with Tom Hoynatsky. I have to pause every time I think about that name. Hoynatsky. I think you'll find him quite fun to listen to. Thanks all. Thank you, Trish, for your wonderful
Bye,
help.
everyone, and happy Valentine's.
Thank you. Happy Valentine's. Yes, I almost forgot. Take care, everyone.
Bye-bye.